Hi everyone, today I'm really excited to talk about a specific topic which has been really important to a lot of people that are abroad. And I've been getting this question quite a lot, especially with people that are looking to come to Australia. The question is really, is it hard to get a job in Australia? And I know a lot of people are expecting a simple yes or no answer. At the same time, I think this is a topic that really needs to dive deep in terms of what are the factors on how to get a job in Australia. How easy is it to get a job in Australia? How hard is it to get a job in Australia? So today's conversation is really going to be focused on helping you understand what are the factors that determine how to get a job in Australia, what kind of industries should you apply for, and how to get a job in Australia as well. So today it's presented by Isan Education. We've been helping out over 25,000 clients in education and migration. So let's get right into it. So just to give a context about what we're going to be covering through, I'm going to be sharing a bit about myself, what factors determine how hard it is to get a job in Australia, some ideas on getting your first job in Australia. I know you're definitely excited about that one, perfecting your resume, lists of ways to get a job, and just a bit about extent education as well. So the fun part, a bit about myself. I've been living here in Australia for over 17 years. I've actually graduated from Australian Catholic University. They put me on their website, so that's just a bit about who I am and what I'm here to do for you. Now, in terms of a bit of my background on why I can talk about this particular topic, I've actually hosted a bunch of career and professional development programs for both Australian Catholic University, CPA Australia, and other leading organizations Australia. That's really covering the topics of how to lead, how to get a job, how to succeed in Australia. Obviously, I've been very fortunate to work with global brands that needed help in identifying top talents, and I've actually headhunted for those media agencies and ad tech technologies as well. Currently, I've worked at some of the most innovative companies in Australia that's won numerous awards. So I guess I can talk a bit about how to succeed in Australia, how to get a job in Australia, and what's the market like as well. So this is something that I really wanted to focus on. This is going to be the core of our conversation, which is what factors determine how hard it is to get a job. Now, oftentimes, yes, it depends on the market of are there enough jobs for everyone? What kind of jobs are there? Who gets those jobs? At the same time, I also think it's very fundamental on these particular skills because regardless of what the market is, people with self-determination, great communication skills, the right technical skills, conviction and influence to persuade people for them to hire you. And it just really also depends on, what's your expectations of your first job in Australia? Are you okay with whatever pays the bills, or are you uncomfortable with working in certain kind of conditions as well? Obviously, one of the key things that a lot of people do look for is that Australian market experience. Now, to be honest, it is important. At the same time, there are other ways to go around it, whether it's really demonstrating that you are really capable for that role or going through one of your networks as well. Now, the surprising fact is the fact that the reason a lot of people find it hard to get jobs in Australia is the fact that 83% of jobs are actually unadvertised or are hidden. So when you go on those job boards looking for jobs or applying for jobs, whether you're in Australia as well, you're actually only looking at 27% of the job versus the majority of hidden jobs that are out there. Now, when you do come to Australia, these are some of the ways and some of the industries that you may apply for that will help you get that job. For people that are already in Australia, I think this is definitely going to help you out in terms of getting your first job. So I've actually categorized a couple of industries, and I'll go through that with you guys as we go through the video conversation. Now, the first one is hospitality, and some of the roles that you can actually apply for that's easy to get, that allows you to make the money, pay the bills, and ensure that you've got a foundation of stability in terms of your career, in terms of your work, in terms of making money, your finances. The first one is hospitality, and this is the easiest role that you can probably get. It's either waitress, kitchen hand, bartender, and some of the places you can actually apply for is restaurants, takeaway shops, sporting venues, cinemas, bars, hotels, cafes, fast food like KFC, Hungry Jacks, Subway, McDonald's. Now, if you are interested in this slide as well, I will be posting a link to it as well, so you can have access to that as well. Now, some of the ways you can apply for roles within the hospitality industry is, as you may be aware, there are a lot of international students working in the hospitality industry. So you may be able to ask one of your friends if the current venue that they're working at is hiring. You may be able to send your resumes directly, and we'll cover through how to have a great resume. Or you can apply on job boards, just see Gumtree or Indeed. I highly recommend that you ask your friends first, then apply at those venues, and obviously go through job boards. The key reason that I would prefer you to go through the job boards last is because everyone is going through them, and that only has a 27% market share of jobs advertised. Other great industries is actually retail. Now, I know this is very exciting role for a lot of people because they get to have a one-on-one interaction with a lot of the Australian people, really improve the English, which can also help them with the arts as well. Now, some of the roles you can apply for is a sales assistant role. You can apply at supermarkets such as Woolworths, Coles, Aldi, department stores such as Target, Kmart, Myer, clothing stores, petrol stations. Some of the great ways you can do that are obviously friend networks is really key, and I would highly recommend to contact your networks, whether through Facebook, whether through asking your friends directly, handing resumes directly at venues. The key difference with these retail jobs is the fact that it's probably best to also apply through the company website as well. Some of the larger organizations, they do require a recruitment manual process. So going through the internal recruitment is how you will most likely get that job. And it's just purely going on the websites like Coles, Careers, and you'll be able to have a list of jobs that you can apply through as well. Now, those two key industries are definitely industries that a lot of international students work. Other industries that you may be able to work which may benefit you is also cleaning, admin and clerical, call centers, nanny, tutoring, food delivery, and you can definitely apply through Seek, Gumtree.com, Indeed as well. Now, it's one thing to apply for jobs, and it's totally different on how to perfect your resume in the Australian market. What I often see is I've seen a couple of people's resume, and it's often the way that they would normally apply back at home. And there's a big difference between what managers look for in Australia and what managers look for overboard as well. And the key thing that you want to really hone down on is think about, you know, why would the manager want to hire you when there's thousands of other applicants competing for that same role? And that often means that you got to think about what are they looking for? What kind of qualities are they looking for from someone in that role? And what it will provide you is it will provide you some communication to really tailor in your resume. So if someone is looking for great communication skills, you want to really ensure that in your resume you really highlight the fact that you've had years of experience in communicating with clients, communicating with people, or just communicating during your university or high school days as well, whether it's in sport. Um, you don't need experience in a job as long as you can demonstrate that you have great communication skills on different activities you have partaken in. That will be a great asset to you and really give you the edge on your other competitions and other candidates as well. So really make sure that you think about why would the manager hire me? What are they looking for? And customize your resume based on that. Personally, for me, I've found a massive impact on my own resume when I've been able to demonstrate how I can help that business out versus me just wanting a job. And I want to, and I'm sure you can imagine that as well. When someone is applying for a specific job, you'd often choose a person that is able to provide value to you versus someone that just wants to get a job. I highly recommend in the meantime There's different ways you can develop your skills, and I highly recommend you continue to develop your skills so that more people would want to hire you and it's easier for you to get a job long term as well. Now, this is probably the last slide, and it really talks about some of the ways to get a job in Australia. The first one is obviously through online job boards. You can Google, and there's a bunch out there online as well. Some of the key ones that a lot of people do use is gumtree.com.au, seek.com.au, and indeed.com. One of the great ways that a lot of people found work is actually by asking friends. The job market, the hidden job market is 83%, so there are plenty of jobs. It's just you trying to find where they are at. I highly recommend using Facebook groups as well. I know there's a bunch of groups out there that international students can apply, whether it's part-time, temporary, or casual jobs. Now, this is definitely something that I know a lot of people don't do, but I highly recommend it. Is actually handing your CV to the manager of the employee working there. Now, the key reason is the fact that, as we talked about, 83% of jobs are unlisted, they're hidden. So by you directly applying, it saves those businesses money on recruitment because you're already there. They don't have to put an advertisement, and it just makes that hiring process for them easy, which makes you getting a job easy as well. Lastly, there's moments when you get rejected. There's moments when people don't reply to you. There's moments when you have applied for thousands and thousands of applications and you don't get a reply back. What I highly recommend is just being persistent and being open to any job that is offered to you. What I mean by that is sometimes you just never know you're going to love that job, and it's important to be open and take that risk. So a bit about Isan Education. Isan Education is a leading education migration consulting, helping over 25,000 clients with university and college admission along with visa processing. If you did need any of those services, I highly recommend to like us on Isan Education Sydney, as well as contact us if you did need any support or questions as well. Now, I know that there's going to be a couple of questions that you may have about additional questions, whether it's how to, perfect your resume, or whether, things that you may be wondering, or even asking any recommendations or help as well. So if you do have any of those questions, just comment below, and happy to have a deeper chat with you and everyone as well.